Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early May 2022. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So we're going to get right down to business as always and start this reading off with an oracle card just to take a little test of the energy for the lovely Capricorns out there. I hope you're all doing well. But let's get it going, my gods. Talk to me. What do we got for the Capricorns? And yeah, we're just going to look at this first card super quick, then we'll get into the full tarot reading itself. And at the very end, I'm going to pull you a bonus card with the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you might want to lean into, which is always very interesting. But let's get this first card out here. What do we got for Capricorn, please? Let's take a little test of this energy, my guides. Talk to me. Okay, yeah, the deck is being specific, which I always find interesting. Okay, so this card to me can be representative of a Gemini, but the big theme I always think of is perspective here. So whether it's you changing your perspective or somebody seeing things through your eyes. Now, before we really start talking about that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you're active on Twitter, my handle's @KyleofCups. Please feel free to shoot me a tweet. But into the reading we go. You see, these pretty much look like twins, both looking through the same mask, the same glasses. So I always think of perspective if you're not tied closely to a Gemini. So whether that's going through situations and looking at it from an outside looking in perspective, or putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Maybe you'd like someone else to see things from your vantage point. This is also a card to me that is somewhat a representation of empathy. Okay, so maybe your empathetic feelings, your empathetic powers, like feeling what others feel, that could be heightened in this time. So beware of that, okay? Because sometimes empathy is a very, very good thing, but it can also be overwhelming. Make sure you're not taking on the energy of others here. So we're going to get into the full tarot reading itself. Let's shuffle up these cards one time, and we're going to get you three in the upright and we'll intuitively clarify. And I always say with this first card, yes, it's a little footnote, but it doesn't make or break the reading. Let's get this first little set of cards out here, though. What do we got, my guys? Talk to me. Now, last week's reading was titled An Explosive Message. There was a lot of fiery energy in that spread. I remember that. The week before that was an important talk, so communication has been showing up heavily in the last couple of weeks. And we're going to see what we have for you this week, Capricorn. You know, energy is always fluctuating, changing, moving in different directions. Okay, hey, we got our good friend here. We have the King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups, with a beard. He's having himself a little beverage in this rendition. And remember, for the main cards, we read them in the upright. We also have another individual here. We have the Page of Pentacles. So the communication, the messages, those could still be reigning true. Let's get one more out here. All right, Page of Swords. So I also want to just make a quick observation that we have two double page energy here, which could be a representative of youth and new, but three individuals, three people. There could be a lot of people in your sphere right now affecting your energy. Just like I was saying with this card about the empathy, make sure you're not taking on the vibes of others. But we're going to go through this real quick. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get the juicy intuitive stuff. Position number one, our good friend, the King of Cups here. This could absolutely represent a water sign in your life, okay? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. If not, Kings represent control of their respective suit. Cups is all about that emotion, okay? It could be dreamy, creative, expressive. It's a nice type of energy. It could also just speak about romance and love in general. So we could be talking about your emotional state if this doesn't represent an individual. There's a lot of undertones to these cards, so we're going to really want to clarify specifically since there's like three people in the main part of this spread. Now, moving to the center, pardon me, and the fact that we have page on page here is the communication that I was talking about, so back and forths. But this Page of Pentacles, I knocked our Page of Swords out of the way. The Page of Pentacles could represent you in this spread in my simplistic style. Okay, it could represent another earth sign. Like I said, it's a signifier of youth, young individuals, age differences. All pages are messengers, all pages are students. You might be wanting to learn new things, acquire knowledge in this time, start a new type of venture. But this one in particular is a messenger, okay? Like whether it's a written message, a verbal message, those communications. So we're going to want to see when we clarify this what it could be about. Now, moving to the very back end, we have the Page of Swords. This page is a little more standoffish than the rest, okay? Because all pages are kind of indicative of movement as well. This could represent an air sign in your life, okay? So it could just be an individual. But when we see this Page of Swords, I do call him the spy of the tarot deck. It's very analytical and strategic. You might be under somebody's microscope. You might be putting someone under your microscope when the Page of Swords shows up, okay? Communication, sure, but this one is a little more defensive. This is somebody putting a guard up. So I don't know if that's a mode you're in or somebody you're dealing with, but we're going to have to see what's up. I want to dive deeper on all this, Capricorn. Let's jump in and clarify. So we're going to put our Page of Swords right there, and we're going to shuffle this deck up one more time and see what we could get for you. My guides, talk to me. What do we have for the Capricorns? Please. And yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. We're going to go in on the King of Cups. And we're absolutely going to want to get more detail here since it's so many people showing up. Okay, and if you read tarot yourself or you're just learning, that's why the box is here. You could play along. Whatever you're feeling from the spread, feel free to share it down below. I don't mind. We all learn together. So why is the King of Cups here? Why is the King of Cups here? Thank you. Yeah. Another individual. We have the King of Swords. I could feel like this is somebody's emotions transforming in a way from, like, I don't want to say blubbering or overflowing, but I get those deep emotional feelings hardening. Okay, so there might be a situation that you're going through where you feel like you're turning to stone, or there could be somebody else you're dealing with where you feel like they're going cold on you. This is a very interesting vibe because the King of Cups and the King of Swords, they're kind of opposite types of energies. One is a little softer, one's a little tougher, serious, strategic. Okay, so in your emotional sense, you might be becoming very serious about situations, or you might be losing a softness, or you feel like somebody might be going cold here. So I don't necessarily say that this is a warning. One is the heart, one is the mind. Okay, so you might be going through battles of the heart and the mind, bouncing back and forth. How you feel, what you know. Logic, emotion. Okay, so it is that little bounce back, but it was giving me that transformation of possibly getting a little cold in regards to something, or feeling like your emotions are hardening like a rock. Okay, and like I always say with this King of Swords, he's a serious individual. Okay, so there might be something you're taking very seriously. In your own way, you might become extra stern in this time, okay? No nonsense. We're going to go in on this Page of Cups. Very interesting here, Capricorn. So it's, Page of Pentacles, pardon me. So why is this Page of Pentacles here? Why is this Page of Pentacles here? Okay, yeah, a lot of you might be receiving some sort of good news. So I do feel like this spread could be different things that are going on right now. For some of you, you might just be buckling down and taking something very seriously and seeing gains and seeing progress. But with the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Wands in the upright, this is some possible really, really good news, okay? Like I always say, wins, victories, triumphs, those come in all different shapes and sizes. Now, this Six of Wands is a card of victory and triumph. And when I see it under this Page of Pentacles, like I said, either you're like, you might be starting something very new or going into a new cycle where you can come out on top, or you could see a lot of big gains. Okay, so just know if you're starting anything that's in the newer stages, this bodes very well for that. And for some of you, this could just be some sort of good news, good talk, good conversation. And I do feel like for a lot of you, it could be a bearer of good news, okay? Not the inverse, the bad. So we're going to go in on this Page of Swords because we have different things happening here, Capricorn. The coming days and weeks can be very interesting for you, especially with all the court cards we got going on here. Could be linking to family, communal things. Let's go in on the Page of Swords. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow card. So why is the Page of Swords here for Capricorn? Please and thank you. Thank you. Quick. Hierophant. Okay, so if you've been having like trouble with any individuals, certain dealings with people, I'm getting somebody who's being extremely, extremely defensive. Okay, so I don't know if that's a mode you're in. All right, we have the Hierophant here in the upright. At the time of this filming, we are in Taurus season. Some of you might be dealing with a Taurus when the Hierophant shows up. power structures. It could speak about long-term relationships, things like that showing up in the energy. But it is planted firm, very similar to this Page of Swords. So you might be trying to loosen somebody up or talk to somebody, soften them up in a way, and I see somebody like not budging, all right, shutting something down. There could be somebody trying to butter you up as well, so watch out for that, like somebody trying to get on your good side or schmooze. So beware of those type of things. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but if you've been having communication issues with someone in particular, all right, if somebody's been being stubborn or trying to shut you out, or you've been shutting somebody else out, that could persist here with the Page of Swords and the Hierophant. For some of you, it could just be a Taurus that's like keeping an eye on you, or somebody that you've been linked with for a very long time, inquiring about you. So let's go through this real quick, because we still have the communication and message undertones throughout this whole thing, but so many different energies and people here. We'll get this recap before we get into the shadow spread. If you kindly look in the box, we have our beautiful friend, the King of Cups himself, clarified by the King of Swords, the opposites. So some of you might be bouncing back with situations where you're weighing your emotions to the logic, the heart, the mind, the battle. Okay, for some of you, this could be somebody's emotions hardening. Whether it's yours, you might be becoming jaded about something or someone. This could be somebody else that's getting a little cold. But in a sense, this is like somebody whose emotions are becoming very serious in nature because of this King of Swords, okay? Analytical, plan-based, cut and dry, no BS. Moving to the center, we have the Page of Pentacles with the Six of Wands. This is absolutely the best alignment in this whole spread. A lot of you could be receiving some sort of good news. If you're starting any sort of new things, okay, whether it's new work, new businesses, side hustles, even relationships, friendships with others, it could be very prosperous. But for a lot of you, it could be a win, a victory, or a triumph of some kind coming down the pipeline. Very good. But to the back end, and that's why I say this feels very segmented, like it could be various different things. We have the Page of Swords and the Hierophant. If you've been having communication issues with somebody, that might persist. If there's been somebody who's been cold, stubborn, distant, that might persist still. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. For some of you, it could just be a Taurus or someone you're linked with for a long time, trying to keep tabs on you. But I feel somebody being very firm and a little cold, and we kind of have that on both sides of the spectrum of this spread. But there is the goodness here, so it's not all bad. So please take a screenshot. I'd love to hear what you think. We're going to get into your shadow card now. So what's in the shadows here for my Capricorn friends, please? My gods, talk to me. What do we got? And I like using the Shadowland Tarot because even with the positive cards, it makes us look at the inverse. Okay, so whether it's shadow work you need to do or something that's coming up for you, we're going to see what we could get. What's in the shadows for Capricorn? Let's just get one card to finish this reading off. What do we got? Thank you. Okay, we have discretion, aka judgment, a big card of action. For some of you, you might be tempted to give up on something too soon or too quick. For some of you, you may have felt like in the past you gave up on something too soon or too quick. And it's feeling very intuitive to me here because generally judgment is a choice, a decision. So some of you could be plagued with a little indecision in this time, flip-flopping. We kind of saw it in the spread a little bit. Or you could be dealing with somebody that just has a very hard time sticking to their guns, making a choice, or even taking action, because there was that sedentary energy within the spread itself. Usually this is spirit trying to point you in a direction. So make sure you're not missing the signs and synchronicities from spirit when this card shows up in the shadows, okay? Like when it's time to do something and it's divinely timed, you must do so. So Capricorn, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the April subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced in my community tab Monday, May 2nd. But for the May subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Tarot Illuminati. You'll get the full kit if you're a lucky winner. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments what other type of reading you would like to see from me, because I'll continue to do the weeklies, but I really want to mix it up and give you guys what you want. And yeah, after that, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of May, I'll put the winners in my community tab, my friends. Much love to you, and I'll see you next time.